Everywhere was completely dark with no single light. She desperately took off her clothes and reached for the switch on the wall. The sound coming out from Nana's room was quite loud that Ruth, the pastor's sister, who occupied the closest to her room, came out. At first, she thought they were praying, but the noise was too awkward. "Ruth!" she exclaimed as the lights came on and the three of them made love together. Unknown to them, everywhere was on fire. The pastor thought they could be sound in sleep and unaware of what is going on. So he sent some people to go to Ruth's room to wake her up while he went into his son's room. In the ancient city of Zikora, Pastor Gabriel and his family were pillars of the community. His wife, Gloria, was a beloved figure, admired by all for her kindness and beauty. Their son, Paul, was a bright young boy who brought joy to everyone around him. To the congregation, the family seemed perfect, with Gloria's devotion to her husband and family serving as a shining example. But the pastor's wife had one secret. She was attracted to her fellow women. Back then in her university days, she was meant to live that kind of lifestyle by her school mother who provided her with every assistance she needed. Now, as a pastor's wife, she already stopped that lifestyle. But despite that, she always felt like something was missing in her love life with her husband. One day, a group of final year schoolgirls came to the church for spiritual guidance, and they stayed at the pastor's house for a few days. Nana, one of the girls, was very helpful and kind. She often assisted Pastor Gabriel's wife Gloria with household chores and cooking. When Nana asked for a quieter space to study and pray because her roommates went to bed early, the pastor gave her a separate room. This allowed Nana to spend more time with Gloria, studying the Bible and praying together late at night. As time went on, their relationship began to change in a subtle way. They started getting so close. She opened up to Mrs. Gloria about her lifestyle. She told her how she found herself getting sexually attracted to her roommates and how she had embraced that lifestyle, which was why she came for the spiritual counseling. She realized that the narrations was pleasant to Mrs. Gloria. One fateful night, she touched the pastor's wife in almost every part of her body and making an attempt to kiss her. She thought she would push her away, but instead, she kissed her back, and they made love that night. The pastor's wife realized how much she still longed for that experience. "Where did you sleep last night?" Pastor Gabriel asked immediately his wife came into the room the next morning. "Good morning, my husband. Last night was so tough. Nana had a spiritual attack that I had to stay and pray with her all through the night," Mrs. Gloria said. "Wow, that's good. I am so proud of you. How selfless you are and how you dedicate so much time to the work of God," he said. "Thank you, my husband," she smiled. She knew the feeling that had been awakened in her, and she was not ready to stop what she already started with the girl. But then she became sad as she remembered the girls would be going back to their school that evening. By the evening time, the pastor and his wife went to Nana's lodge to pray for them. After the prayers, they bid them goodbyes and left their lodge. The pastor's wife was alone in her room that night because her husband wasn't around as he traveled for a prayer conference shortly after the prayer with the girls. She started feeling guilty of the atrocity she has committed. She went on her knees to pray, but then a message popped into her phone. "Good evening, ma. I forgot my diary in my room. Could you help me keep it in your custody? Please, I would like you to go and get it by yourself because I wouldn't want anyone else to read about the most special night I've had in my life with you." Of course, I couldn't afford not to write it. "Thank you," the message read. Mrs. Gloria blushed. She quickly got up and went to Nana's room for the diary. "I've been longing for you all through the morning. Thank goodness you're here now," a familiar voice said. "Nana, why are you still here? Are you not supposed to be in school by now?" Gloria asked. "I couldn't afford to stay a night without you, So I lied to the others that I was very sick and needed more prayers, Nana said as she removed the wrapper she tied around her chest. Miss Gloria quickly grabbed her as they got lost in each other's arms, repeating the same act from the previous night. The sound coming out from Nana's room was quite loud that Ruth, the pastor's sister, who occupied the closest to her room, came out. At first, she thought they were praying, but the noise was too awkward. She wanted to knock, but then the noise stopped and she went back to her room. Very early in the morning, the pastor's wife watched as Nana left the church back to her school because she had an exam coming up in a few hours. All through that day, Gloria was filled with so much sadness that everyone around her noticed it. Even her son and husband felt so unloved by her cold attitude. On Sunday service the next day, when it was time for her to give a sermon, she repeated the same thing she said last Sunday. The congregation was very disappointed, but she didn't notice. As soon as her brief sermon ended, no one saw her again. "My love, why did you repeat the sermon from last Sunday?" the pastor queried as they sat in their room after dinner. "I forgot what I wanted to say, so I had to come up with something at least," she defended. "And it had to be the same sermon from last Sunday. That was so appalling. Come on, what were you thinking?" Pastor Gabriel said. "Oh, please, don't judge me. Just shut your mouth," she said in a loud tone. "Are you raising your voice at me?" Pastor Gabriel asked. "I'll sleep in Paul's room tonight. Good night," she said as she left the room. Pastor Gabriel sat there, disappointed that for the first time in 10 years, Gloria, his lovely wife, raised her voice at him and even left their matrimonial room. He knew something was wrong, but he had no idea what. As Gloria reached out for the door to open Paul's room, she got a message on her phone. "I couldn't get last night off my mind. Please meet me in my room now. I want you so bad." She quickly tiptoed in the direction of Nana's room. She opened the door. Everywhere was completely dark, with no single light. She desperately took off her clothes and reached for the switch on the wall. "Ruth!" she exclaimed as the lights came on. It was Ruth, her husband's younger sister, sitting on the bed. "What are you doing here?" Gloria asked. "I know what's been going on between you and the schoolgirl," Ruth revealed. "It's not what you think." "I can explain," Gloria pleaded. "Shh," Ruth said. Fear gripped her. "Please, don't let your brother know about this. I am so sorry," Gloria said as tears dropped down her eyes. Ruth started touching her seductively. She moved her hands all through every part of her body. Gloria responded in the same way and they had an intimate affair. When Gloria woke up very early in the morning, she saw a note that reads, "Meet me in my room this night, same time." Gloria smiled and rushed out of the room. That day seemed like a very happy day for her. She put on a smiling face and accommodated everyone around her. During the Women Fellowship session in the evening, which was usually handled by her, as she stood on the podium, she caught Ruth staring at her. Once their eyes met, they exchanged lovely glances. That night, same time, after attending to her husband, she told him she was going to sleep in their son's room and he smiled, believing she was only trying to bond with their son, but instead, she sneaked into Ruth's room and they repeated the same act. Gloria and Ruth started acting like two teens who had just fallen in love for the first time. Each one of them always found a way to see each other's face. Pastor Gabriel noticed the closeness between his sister and his wife. It had never been like that. Ruth and Gloria never really got along, not as though they quarreled. But Gloria was rather too busy with her family and church affairs that she never kept any friends. Seeing this development, Pastor Gabriel thought she was finally coming around. One Sunday morning, as the service was going on, Gloria caught sight of a familiar figure that just came into the church. She followed her gaze until the figure sat down, and it was Nana. They had suddenly stopped talking to each other ever since she started having an affair with Ruth. Ruth asked her to cut every ties with Nana, and she did. Fear went down her spine. What if she's here to leak my secret to my husband? Or worse still, to the church? She thought to herself. When Nana saw her, she gave a mischievous smile which got Gloria more worried. After service, she was approaching the pastor when she saw Nana talking with him. She slowly went back and hid in a corner. She watched as the pastor's countenance changed to sadness and she quickly ran back to the house, her heart panting profusely. She was pacing up and down in the room when the pastor came in. "Oh, here you are. I've been looking for you in the church," he said with a stern tone. He wasn't in his usual cheerful mood after every service, and this got Gloria more worried. "My love, please, I can explain. It's not what you think," Gloria said with fear and shame written all over her face. "You can explain what? Did you have anything to do with what the women were saying?" the pastor asked with a worried expression. Gloria then realized he was only looking for her to report the disappearance of the treasurer with the church money, which was the same reason she was approaching the pastor earlier. "Tell me, do you have a hand in her fraud against the church?" Pastor Gabriel asked. "No, I can never have a hand in such," she said. "I noticed how frequent you use the restroom. I thought the food was purging you, and I wanted to explain that I made a very big mistake in using too many seasoning cubes." She lied. "You're funny. I was only frequenting the restroom to urinate because I drank hot water this morning. Have you forgotten that's always the reaction on my body?" "Oh, is that so? My goodness. I was so scared because I know how much you hate to purge." "Well, I didn't purge, and that's by the way. Nana is here to see you. She says she lost a close family member. Also, let's go see how we can tackle the treasurer's issue," he said as he left the room. Gloria quickly put herself in order as she followed him. "I heard the church treasurer ran away with the church money," Nana said when she finally got the opportunity to meet Gloria. "Well, she did, but thank God we've apprehended her in the police station," Gloria replied. "Wow, that's good. So why are you here?" Gloria asked just immediately. "I've missed you so much," Nana said with a flirting expression. "Nana, I clearly told you I won't have anything to do with you again. Please understand that." "Please, my love, I still want you," Nana said as she grabbed Gloria's hand. "Stop! I was busy before you called me out," Gloria said and quickly left Nana. When Nana met with the pastor, she told him she was going back to school. Pastor Gabriel asked her to stay, but she insisted on going back and he bade her farewell. But she had no plans of going back. It was almost night, so she went to the backyard and stayed until nightfall. Then she sneaked into the room she had occupied when she stayed at the pastor's house. She sent Gloria messages that could spark her feelings, but she completely ignored her. Paul wasn't fine health-wise, so Gloria actually stayed in his room to look after him. But late into the night, she sneaked out and went into Ruth's room. Unknown to her, Nana saw her when she did that. She realized something was going on between Ruth and the pastor's wife, and she was filled with so much rage and jealousy. She thought of going to expose her secret to the pastor, but something else came to her mind. "I will go into that room right now and let her know that I've found out about their secrets. And if she refuses to give in to me, I will expose them," she thought to herself as she hurriedly left her room. Ruth and Gloria were shocked when she came inside the room. "Oh, is this the reason why you no longer want me?" Nana asked Gloria, but there was no response. Instead, Ruth dragged her to join them, and the three of them made love together. While they were lost in their sinful acts, something horrible happened. Unknown to them, everywhere was on fire, and there were screams everywhere. When they heard the noises, they assumed it was the usual prayers the pastor always did every Monday morning with some of the youths, so they ignored the noise. Everyone came out of their room except Gloria, Ruth, and Paul. The pastor thought they could be sound in sleep and unaware of what is going on. So he sent some people to go to Ruth's room to wake her up while he went into his son's room. Fire had blocked the way for Paul to come out, so the pastor had to push the door open. But he didn't see Gloria there. It was only Paul, choking by fire. Those that went to Ruth's room to wake her up were shocked when they pushed the door to behold such a horrible sight. The pastor's wife having sex with Ruth, the pastor's sister, the choir leader, and Nana, the schoolgirl who was supposed to be in school. The pastor equally rushed in to behold such sights. That night, Nana left in shame, while Ruth and Gloria were buried in shame as the others murmured in disbelief. When the fire service came and stopped the fire, it was almost morning, so Pastor Gabriel quickly went to take his bath. "Please, my love, forgive me. I don't know what came over me. Please, forgive me," Gloria said as soon as he came out of the bathroom. "I don't have a grudge against you, honestly. But above me, you have sinned against God and the church. Just get ready to face the church," he said as he left the room. That evening, the church leaders and some members gathered, including other people who heard the story. The pastor couldn't utter a word as the elder passed judgment on Gloria and Ruth. They were asked to leave the church and never to return again. With their faces buried in shame, they left the church. Paul watched as his mother was crying uncontrollably and his father couldn't do anything. He asked his father to defend his mother, but he was too young to understand. The news fled into the ears of many and soon they closed down the church. The pastor and his son left to another town.